Welcome back to the Qlause Safety Series. This is Module S7, Working at Heights and Falling Objects. Height is the hazard that punishes the smallest mistake the hardest. A slip on the ground is a bruise. The same slip near an edge, on a ladder, on a roof, can end a life, or end a career in a single second. And it isn't only the person up high who's at risk. Everything that goes up can come down, a tool, a bolt, a length of pipe, onto whoever is standing below. In the next few minutes, you'll learn how falls really happen, how we stop them, and how to protect the zone beneath the work. Let's begin. Here's what you'll be able to do by the end of this module. First, you'll understand why height is different, why a fall does damage out of all proportion to the effort it took to fall, and why low is where most people get hurt. Second, you'll know the hierarchy for heights, the order we always work in. Avoid the height, then prevent the fall, and only as a last resort, arrest it. Third, you'll know how to use the two most common ways up, ladders and platforms, the way that keeps you on them. And fourth, you'll respect the zone below, the falling object rules that protect the people who never left the ground. Let's start with why heights get their own module. Most hazards give you a second chance. You touch something hot, you pull your hand back, you hear the forklift, you step aside. Height takes the second chance away. Once you're falling, there is no correcting it. No gripping harder, no undoing the step. Physics has the rest of the story, and it tells it in less than a second. Falls are, year after year, among the leading causes of death and life-changing injury in workplaces across every region on Earth. Not because people are careless, but because the margin for error at height is simply smaller than anywhere else. Respecting that margin is the whole of this module. Here is the ground rule this whole module stands on. Most falls that kill come from heights someone called low. Not the dramatic ones, the ordinary ones. Off a stepladder, off the back of a truck, through a fragile roof panel, into an open pit nobody barricaded. The mind tells you a short height is a safe height, and the mind is wrong. It isn't the distance that hurts you, it's the sudden stop at the end of it. And a stop from head height onto concrete is more than enough. So here's the test that replaces guessing. If a fall could injure you, you are working at height. And everything in this module applies. Not just on the roof, everywhere you could fall. When you hear working at height, don't picture only the roof and the scaffold. Picture your own workplace, the stepladder someone's on right now to reach a shelf. The platforms, scaffolds, and mezzanines people cross without a second thought. Roofs, especially fragile ones, where the surface itself is the trap. Edges, floor openings, and pits, where the fall is down through the floor, not off it. And the ones people forget entirely. Anywhere you could fall into something, a tank, a hopper, a machine pit, where the danger below is as bad as the drop. Height isn't only up. If there's a level change you could fall from or into and be hurt, that's working at height, and it counts. For a fall to happen, something specific goes wrong, and it's nearly always one of four things. The unprotected edge, no guardrail, no barrier, one wrong step, and there's nothing between you and the drop. The wrong or wobbly ladder. Too short, unfooted, not tied, or leaned at the wrong angle, so it slides or tips at the worst moment. The surface that gave way. A fragile roof light, a rotten board, a cover that wasn't rated to stand on. It looked solid, and it wasn't. And the overreach, stretching for that last bit instead of moving the ladder until your weight passes the edge of your balance. 4 ways down. Every single one of them is something you can see coming and stop. Now, the most important idea in the module, the order we solve height in every time. It has 3 steps, and you always start at the first. Step 1, avoid. Can this job be done without going up at all? Assemble it on the ground, use a long-handled tool, lower the light fitting instead of climbing to it. The safest height is the one you never reach. Step 2, prevent. If you must go up, stop the fall from being possible. A guarded platform, a proper barrier, a covered opening. Step 3, arrest. Only when you genuinely cannot avoid or prevent do you fall back on catching the fall. A harness and anchor. Avoid, prevent, arrest. Always start at the left and only move right when you've run out of left. Ladders injure more people at height than any other equipment precisely because they look harmless. 5 habits keep them honest. Right ladder, right job. Ladders are for short, light, simple tasks. Quick access, not an afternoon's work. Inspect before you climb. Feet, rungs, no cracks, no missing parts. A damaged ladder is scrap, not a gamble. Foot it, tie it, level it. Secure the base so it can't slide. Stand it on firm level ground, at the right angle. Not too steep, not too shallow. 3 points of contact, always. 2 feet and a hand, and face the ladder going up and down. And the one people break most? It's access, not a workbench. The moment you're reaching, leaning, or stretching sideways off a ladder, come down and move it. Every time. When you can't work from the ground, a properly guarded platform is your best friend, if you respect it. Guardrails are non-negotiable. That top rail, mid-rail, and toe board are engineered to catch you, so never remove them and never work where they're missing. Use only a tagged, inspected platform. A scaffold or tower is signed off by a competent person, and that tag is your permission to be on it. No tag, no access. Don't climb the rails or stack boxes or stand on the mid-rail to gain that last half meter. That's throwing away the very protection you're standing in. Powered platforms, MEWPs, scissor lifts, cherry pickers are for trained, authorized operators only, and on them, stay inside the basket, keep the gate closed, and clip on where the machine requires it. Not every fall is off something. Plenty are through something, or over an edge that nobody guarded. So treat every open edge and every floor opening as live. A hole in the floor is a fall waiting for a footstep, and the person who finds it might be walking backwards, carrying a load, or looking at their phone. The rule is simple. If you make an opening, you own it. Cover it with something rated to take a person's weight and fixed so it can't slide, or barricade it so nobody can reach the edge. Warn people. Light it if it's dark. And if you come across an unguarded edge or an open hole that someone else left, don't step around it and move on. Guard it or report it before it finds a victim. Now, the half of this module people forget. When you work up high, the danger points down. A dropped spanner from a few stories up hits the ground with the force of a bullet, and the victim is someone who never went near the height. So protect the zone below. Secure your tools, tether them, or keep them in a closed bag, never balanced on a rail or ledge. Keep nothing loose near the edge. No offcuts, no bolts, no coffee cup waiting for a gust of wind. Barricade the ground beneath overhead work, and keep people out of it. An exclusion zone is not optional. Toe boards and nets keep things on the deck, and everyone in that zone wears a helmet. The person below is counting on the person above. Let's be honest about the harness, because it's the most misunderstood item at height. A harness doesn't stop you falling. It catches you after you've fallen. It is the last line, the parachute you hope you never have to test, and it only works if 3 things are already true. It fits and it's worn correctly. A loose harness can injure you as badly as the fall. It's clipped to a rated anchor point. Not a handrail, not a pipe, not that looks strong enough, but an anchor chosen for the job. And someone can get you down fast, because hanging in a harness after a fall is itself dangerous. That's why every harness job needs a rescue plan before it starts. Selecting harnesses, anchors, and rescue is specialist work, which brings us to an honest boundary. 5 checks before anyone leaves the ground. They take a minute, and that minute is the cheapest safety in this whole module. Plan the job and the rescue. Know how the work will be done, and how someone would be brought down if it went wrong. Right equipment, inspected. The correct ladder or platform for the task, checked and, where needed, tagged. Check the ground and the weather. Firm, level footing below, and no wind or storm that turns a routine job dangerous. Height and weather is a bad partnership. Edge protection in place, guardrails, covers, and barriers sorted before you climb, not after. And the zone below barricaded, so nothing that falls finds a person. Plan it at the bottom, and the top takes care of itself. One honest note about the law, as always in this series, every region takes working at heights seriously, and each writes it into its own rules. In South Africa, the construction regulations require a fall protection plan, drawn up and overseen by a competent person, wherever there's a risk of falling. In the United States, OSHA's fall protection standards set out when protection is required and what it must be. Across the European Union, the work at height requirements under the Framework and Work Equipment Directives place the same duty on employers to plan, prevent, and protect. And ISO 45001 wraps height risk into the same Plan, Do, Check, Act system your site may be certified against. The principles you've learned hold in all of them, but your site's own fall protection plan and permits always come first. Let's be precise about what you've just done. Honesty being a safety value too. This module gives you awareness. How falls happen, the hierarchy that prevents them, how to use ladders and platforms well, and how to protect the zone below. It does not, on its own, qualify you for the regulated jobs, erecting or inspecting scaffolds, operating a MEWP or a lift, selecting harnesses, anchors, and fall arrest systems, rescuing someone who's fallen and is hanging, rope access, and work on fragile roofs. Those need formal, certified, often practical training under your local rules and usually a permit, and your site must arrange them before you do that work. If a height task needs a certificate or a permit you don't hold, that's a boundary. Respect it and say so out loud. 5 things worth keeping from this module. 1. If a fall could injure you, it's working at height, and low is where most people get hurt, so treat short heights with real respect. 2. Work the hierarchy. Avoid the height first, prevent the fall next, and only arrest it as a last resort. 3. Ladders are for short, light access. Inspect them, secure them, keep 3 points of contact, and never turn a ladder into a workbench. 4. Trust guardrails and tagged platforms. Never remove protection. Never climb to gain that last half meter. 5. Protect the zone below. Secure every tool, barricade the ground, and remember the person who never left it. Gravity is patient. Don't ever give it the chance. That's the end of Module S7. Thank you for your attention and for taking height seriously even when it looks routine. 3 things before you go. First, download the free companion pack for this module at Qlause.ap. A 10-question quiz, a 1-page toolbox-talk summary, an attendance register, and a working at height checklist for your own tasks. Second, the series continues with Module S8, manual handling and ergonomics, the slow injuries that build up over a career, and how to spare your back and joints from them. And third, this week, look up. Find one job on your site that's done at height and ask, honestly, could it be done from the ground? Stay sharp, look after each other, and we'll see you in Module S8.